Hi everyone, my name is Maya Venable and welcome to this channel. So in the previous episode you saw how Sergey was painting with Arteza oil paints. And in this episode I'm going to show you how I paint with gouache, fine liners and water brush pens from Arteza as well. By the way, use the coupon code SergeyGuse1 to get 10% off on any products by Arteza. Check out their amazing store. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Let's get started. I'm going to draw my puppy. She's a little Jack Russell, so she doesn't have a lot of patience to sit still. Therefore, I'm going to use a photo instead of her. I start by drawing a light sketch with Arteza graphite pencil. I'm using a harder one because I don't want too much graphite to be on the paper. It's just going to be a fast sketch. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. If I want to correct, I'm simply just using an eraser. The paper that I'm working on is also from Arteza. It's the watercolor paper, so it's nice and thick. I've taped it down so that it doesn't curl up when I'm using water. I'm not drawing too many details because I know I'm going to cover it up by paints. I'm going to prepare the palette. I'm not using all of the colors, though I really am tempted to. I'm also looking at what I'm going to paint, and so I probably don't need too many greens, for example. They're very nice and easy to apply, and it's nice to have them in these tubes. It's always good to remember to stay a little bit limited in your palette when you start painting. Also, I have a jar of water so that I can keep my brushes clean. I start by painting in those big spots, usually the darker ones. It's just a lot easier to work that way, so I work from light to dark. I'm working with a bigger brush to ensure that I'm not working with smaller details now that I've just started. I want to just look at the entire painting and how it works all together before I start doing smaller details. I enjoy the colors of the Arteza gouache set. They're nice and bright. Of course, you also have to remember that this is gouache. It has another personality, which I really enjoy. It's drier, and the texture is just a lot different from when you're using oil colors. And I think that's just the charm of it. The more I go into details, the smaller the brush gets. But I'm still keeping an eye on the entire painting, just to make sure that everything works well together. I'm using Arteza brushes for the very small details. Also, remember to keep all the edges very soft. It makes up for a painting that is just well connected and well working all together. If all the edges were sharp, the painting somehow would fall apart, as if you had cut it out from paper and just glued it on. Sometimes I return using bigger brushes, just because I want to keep focusing on the entire painting and I don't want it to fall apart. Eyes are important, of course, even if it's a portrait of a puppy. Those puppy eyes need to be full of life. And then at the very end, I add the smallest details. That's about it. I'm done with this. Ready to see the final piece. There it was. So for the next one I'm going to do an even quicker one. I'm also going to draw another of my animals. I don't have too many more animals, but I do have some budgies. And this is my little budgie Laban. I decided I wanted something different from the previous gouache one. I wanted something that was a little bit more free, a little bit more playful. Also because the material kind of invites me to play a little bit more. These brush pens are perfect for this. Now, they apply quite dry because it's on watercolor paper, but I'm not worried because I'm going to use the water brush that is included in the set of the brush pens. I don't want to be overly controlled. I think that the water should just drip wherever it wants to go. Usually it's downwards, and blur things out. Don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be a little bit more free. I don't have a specific aim with this, where I want to go with this piece. I'm just simply putting on, taking off, letting it dry, and blurring it out some places, leaving it strong other places. And then I want to use the fine liners to just add a little bit extra, different kind of texture. The thing about the water brushes that confused me a little bit were that the moment that it dried, it turned very light. And usually when you're using watercolor, it doesn't really do it the same way. But once I got to understand this, I knew how to work with it and I actually liked it. So in the end, you just have to know kind of what you can use it for and not worry so much. So I was doing a lot of details, and then the moment I put water on, it kind of blurred out many of those details. But in the end, I really liked the result of it because, again, it didn't end up looking so strict. And then I had the possibilities of working with the fine liner on top of that to add some extra. I really suggest that you go out and you find something that is close to you. You don't have to go and search for the biggest, most impressive animal, but find something in your proximity, something that can inspire you. In this case, it was birds and a puppy, but it could be anything from small flowers to a cup of coffee and a cake, for example. So take something and paint from life. It's always something I recommend to all my students. It's important to draw from life. The brilliant thing about the brush pens also are that they are very easy to travel with. So let's say when I go out and sketch, I can easily bring them with me. let's have a look at how it all turned out. I did an extra run because I had so much fun with it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and also find me on Instagram and follow me there and share with your friends. Thank you for watching.